What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And the next time we're live, actually, we're broadcasting live on June 7th. Let me put that out there. And then the next time we're live, I'm going to promote a campaign that the team I'm part of and Dove Men Plus Care are doing for Father's Day. So you won't have a lot of time. Well, probably the best thing is if you follow me on, especially on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a video this week promoting the campaign, and it's going to be promoted via the LinkedIn platform. So just want to get to that. And in Toronto today, we're getting some hot weather. It is warm, humid, and we got smoke from fires in another part of the country. But you know what? You're not here to listen to me. I'm floating in the sea, as you can see. We are here to hang out with Aisha K. Staggers, Laura Lala Key, because they bring it and they win it every Saturday. What's going on, ladies?
What's not going on? Yeah, it's weird.
Hot. What do you think of the
reason I don't have my lights on today? Because it is so hot. I can't. I'm like damp.
What did you think about the intro?
I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. Ricky, we got some. You know what? I love using pens. Have you ever had a point where you broke the pen clip? Like,
oh yeah, I've done
that.
Small things, little things.
It's the small things.
Yeah, it's the small things. It's not the big things, people. It's the small things that drive Dr. Vibe crazy.
Same.
Yeah.
Sometimes, every now and then, I have to go into my Black Karen mode. You know, the difference between Black Karen and regular Karen is that Black Karen's motto is everybody can get it.
Black.
Black. Not just the race you quote unquote don't like. No, everybody can get it from Black Karen.
Black Karen.
That's funny.
Have you heard that one before, Lola?
I went to the eye doctor yesterday. I said that to her several times. I got to become Black Karen.
Okay.
I went to the eye doctor yesterday. But listen, I went to the eye doctor yesterday, and I know how a contact lens exam is supposed to go. I've been doing them for 35 years. And this lady, she's like, is this better or this better? And I'm like, do you want to know if I can read one better than the other, or just just is it better or not? And I'm like, well, I guess it's better, but I still can't read it. And I was just trying to explain to her. Every time I was trying to explain to her what the issue was. So she sent me out there with contacts, bifocal contacts, multifocal, which is fine, but I could read close by. But I got in the car. I could not see the license plate of the car in front of me. And I'm like, got to change them. So I had to call her manager today.
Oh.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Especially because, the exam itself was 160, but the lenses for just 6 months were going to cost me $250. So, and I bought glasses. So I was like, I want to cancel my glass order because it's not right if it's the same one. And I want you to redo my exam for free. Well, we can have her do it again. I said, I do not want to see her. Do not put her in my purview.
Don't put her in
my peripheral.
And I said, you better make a note. You better make a note on my chart that woman is never to touch me.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta put your foot down.
Black Karen.
Black Karen. Okay.
And yes, today is Prince's birthday.
Well, I was gonna wait, but it's already in our comments section. April Watson said, Happy Heavenly 67, Prince.
Mm-hmm.
67.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, so what would Prince be doing if he was still alive? What do you think he'd be?
Music. He would do a show.
Music. Actually, they just released a version from 2008, an acoustic version of Free from 1999. And that was a nice version. I think that he'd be kind of disgusted at the money grab that is his estate.
Yeah.
I'm
But
disgusted.
I've listened to absolutely nothing else today. I've honored him all day.
Wow. Okay.
I'm still very, very emotional about it.
Me too.
I don't talk about it a lot because it's so deep for me. You would think that I knew him personally, but in my life, it did feel like I knew him personally because it was in my everyday life. Every song meant something to me, and I have specific memories. Even at 8 years old, when I told you guys I fell in love with him on his first album. So that's a long time to feel like you've been with someone. And there's only two artists that I feel that way about, and it's Prince and the other is Joni Mitchell.
And see, I feel that way about Prince and Tina Marie.
Oh, okay, I have pop quiz for both of you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna Aisha first. If you had a chance to be sitting in front of Prince,
Mhm.
what song would you like him to play you?
I don't necessarily know that I want him to play a song. I actually want him to answer my stream of questions.
What would be the first question you ask him?
Well, I wrote an article about this back in 2018, and the question would be, where is the balance? Because I think he was able to strike a balance on record that I don't think in his personal life he was able to, between what people consider the perverse, and then there is the quote unquote pure, which would be the spiritual part. And like on record, he was able to do that. But if you look at him as a person, you see this. It felt like there was always a constant inner turmoil between what he wanted or he thought was a carnal way of feeling. In some ways he thought that was bad, because then he would go to the extreme with the religious part of it. And so
Okay.
how do you strike that balance on record, but you struggle in everyday life? Why doesn't one carry over to the other?
Okay. Lala, if you had a chance to be in front of Prince, what song would you like him to perform?
Call My Name.
Oh, nice. But there is one
song that was deeply personal. It wasn't just a song that something was really, he had someone on his mind with that song, and then to be followed up by somebody. Then I would ask,
now,
can
that's
I
my song. I love that song. Yeah, I love that song. That was actually one of my favorite songs from the Emancipation album. But I guess if any song, it would have to be Mountains. That's a song that reminds you that, you know what? Sometimes even the things that we're going to talk about tonight, sometimes you have to take a step back and realize, it's only, it's, the idea that this mountain would do something and bring this great love to your life. And it's like, nah, that's just a mountain. It's only a mountain. That's it. And it took me, I think for me, it took me a while to get that part of it in life.
Okay.
But Lala, Call My Name is a good choice.
Makes me cry every time. And my way home, that's my ringtone, because it helps keep me centered.
Y'all want to know what my ringtone
my
is?
way home.
Wait, y'all want to know what my ringtone is?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Hold on, just give me 1 second, and I am going.
I'm not going anywhere.
What do y'all think it is?
I'm not gonna. With you, it could be anything. So I'm not gonna put my head on the chopping block.
Dirty Mind.
What do you think it is?
Dirty Mind.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
I love it.
Okay.
And there's two reasons for that. The first reason is that was like the very first Prince song when I became like fangirl, right? But the sound is so loud. It's the only thing that wakes me up. It's like, oh yeah, he really is the ultimate rude boy. It's got this rude, obnoxious, it's just loud and boisterous. And so, it's like, oh, I know that's my ringer. It's like, oh, I know it's time, my alarm. It's time to get up. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
I've tried other Prince tones. I've had other ringtones. Shook One's Part 2 from Mobb Deep was my ringtone at one time. I had a Tammy Terrell ringtone. I had a Tina Marie ringtone. Actually, I have a Tina Marie ringtone for Jill Jones, actually. And it's a song that she co-wrote with Tina. That's why it's my ringtone. But all these other ringtones I've tried, I sleep right through them as my alarm. So this is the only one.
So April says the album club on Clubhouse is doing a tribute.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and
I have trouble with those because if you mess up a Prince song for me, get out of my way. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I think they're playing. I think they're just playing his music though, in that. But I've seen people. Oh God, I've seen horrific covers of Prince songs, starting with his sister Sharon.
I can't. I really can't. I just turn them straight off. And you want to know a crazy fact about me and the Prince song is I don't even like it when Prince does Nothing Compares to You. The only version I will listen to is The Family.
Yep, The Family.
And I was blessed enough to have them sing that just a few weeks ago. I got to stand in front and hear them sing that song. And that's out on my bucket list. It was on my bucket list.
I actually did get to see Prince for Mother's Day 2004 on the Musicology tour. That was my Mother's Day gift for my daughter's father. It was the nicest gift he's ever given me. Probably the nicest thing he's ever done for me, period. And that says a lot in knowing somebody 25 years. Yeah.
For me, meeting him was a joy, and having a chat with him for about 15 minutes. That was a joy. And then also on one of his tours, him and Sheila E. opening up with Erotic City. I was done. I said, I almost said, I don't want to see anything else. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I can die happy now.
Good night. Good night, everybody. I just like exit stage left. I'm
he
good.
tells the story how he wrote that song and about, going to see the Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton and Parliament perform Not Just Knee Deep live. Well, they actually did that at the Montreux Jazz Fest, Parliament Funkadelic. They did a version of it, and it's really long. And then they did a reprise version of it, and then there's like an extended version of it. And when you listen to that live version, it's actually on an album. You actually can see, you hear exactly, that's exactly what he was trying to get with Erotic City.
Somewhere in my boxes of CDs, I have a 2 CD bootleg of him, and the audio is amazing. And him doing a version of Just My Imagination.
Oh yes, I heard that with Misha Paris. Also,
no, I don't know if she was on it, but the guitar solo, OMG!
Is that the one from 1998 or so?
Maybe, but the guitar solo, one of the best guitar solos.
There's video, Dr. God. Yeah, that's why I said Misha Paris sings on it too. She's in the audience, and they pass her the mic to sing, and then he plays the guitar. So it is excellent.
It's killer. The guitar solo is
yeah. And I don't like when Prince does covers of other people's songs, to be honest. And so I see why he did like the stylistic songs and the Delphonic songs, really to make sure those artists got their money, got something back. But his version of One of Us and I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt, I
do not care for those.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But last night,
Well,
Lala, I did listen to my favorite one of my favorite Prince albums, my favorite Prince era, Parade.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
on my list today at the beach.
at the beach.
And I just finished Morris Day's book, and I have to say that I was really, really pleased and really into the story on how he told the story. I believe he was being very genuine in his story. I loved his side. He told it from 3 different sides, and they all were just relaxed. It was like you were talking to an old friend.
Yeah. Actually, I saw a video of Morris Day and the Time telling their story on I guess what is it, the Minneapolis Sound podcast. And
Yeah.
he was actually telling how Alexander O'Neill got kicked out. And
Yeah,
it was a really good video. It's really good if you get a
it
chance.
was
to check
good.
it out.
I saw it too. I saw it today.
You know what? He was also a good interview. Jam and Lewis. They have
Yeah.
some really interesting stories about Prince that and they all give great homage, but some funny stories, some
Yeah.
funny stories about.
You know, the thing about Jimmy and Terry Lewis is that there is a period of Black music between 83 and 85 before Janet. And a lot of people don't realize that they wrote those songs. Like today in the
Right.
car, there's a song by Thelma Houston called You Used to Hold Me. And my dad used to kill that when he was a DJ. And I've always known that song. It wasn't until recently, and I was listening to it, I'm like, why do I feel like this is a Jimmy and Terry song? And so I went and looked, and it was.
You know, they made. I think people. There was a time when it came to R&B music, it was 2 sets of producers.
Mm-hmm.
Jam and Lewis and LA and Baby. That's it. That's it. And if actually
there's a third, because the third would be Teddy Riley.
Yes,
that was your Jet Swing era.
Yes. Cannot forget Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Could you think about the total amount of albums or CDs those 3 producers have sold?
It's astronomical. And you know, I actually went back and looked for 1987-ish, I think it was 1987, the R&B chart. If you look, the majority of those songs it's those 3.
That's
between
it.
88, 87, those 3. I mean, they were
and actually one of the best remixes I've ever enjoyed was, and I've said this a few times in the past, the Teddy Riley remix of Gene Child's "I Don't Want to Fall in Love."
Actually, you know what? There are 3 remixes that Teddy Riley did in that same period that I love. It's that one. Then there's the of course the SWV remix of Right Here, the Human Nature remix.
Yeah.
And then oh gosh, it just left me. What was the third one? Oh, that group that he had today.
Yes.
Girl, I got my eye on you. That beginning with the keyboard, it's like, oh my God, Teddy, you played that. But what a lot of people probably don't know is, guess who produced the show by Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick? Teddy Riley.
Wow.
Jeez.
He's been doing it for a long time. His story is actually really interesting.
Yes, he went bankrupt.
Yeah, but he was living in the projects when he did Keith Sweat's Make It Last Forever album, and he only got paid $3,000 to do that album.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now, I will say about Keith. Okay, Regina's
that was a non-singing brother, but
Regina says he is talking about a guitar solo in the ladies after a show in New York City. The lights were off, and the Mika vocal solo was in England during Love Sexy. Regina says also, sorry, the solo was in 1988 Netherlands. Okay. April says, Call My Name was written for Manuela. And Regina says,
I wish you wouldn't have told me that.
Yeah. That's why I didn't say anything, because I didn't want to ruin it for you.
And then Regina says,
I'm beautiful. Somebody give me the Men in Black pen, please.
Okay, all right. And then the Walamala says, why and how did he go bankrupt? Too much time here, but I remember it actually got
his
profiled.
manager Jim Griffin basically stole the money from him. But I'll tell you something. It kind of it was kind of like karma, because the lesson that Pharrell says he learned the most was from Teddy Riley taking the saxophone riff from Rump Shaker and not crediting him.
Yeah, and it was
He
such
did
a
to,
problem.
Pharrell, yeah, with his manager.
Teddy Riley going bankrupt was actually featured on a CNBC series in the
American
80s.
Greed.
There you go. Yep.
Because somebody also tricked him into investing in something, and then his studios burned down in Virginia Beach. Oh, it's a deep story. But if you find that American Greed episode, look it up. It's a good one.
Yeah, and Teddy
on American Greed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I missed that episode, and I always thought I watched all of them.
Yep. No, it was on American Greed. Yep.
Jennifer Lewis actually has an American Greed episode too, from the boyfriend that she had that was a scam artist.
Whoa, I missed that one too.
Yeah, the Walamala says, can't trust these managers. Tyson's manager, I think, Don King. Of course, don't even go to Don. Don't even start with Don King, please and thank you. Don't even all we got to say about Don. That's all you need to know, right? Done.
Yep.
No, but Teddy, right? And Teddy posts on Instagram every once in a while, and he did a post recently, and there was a non-melanated young man that was singing. What was it? Remember the Time? It sounded so much like Michael Jackson. You would, if you would close your eyes, thought it was Michael Jackson, but it was this young, I'd say probably early 20s, and Teddy was playing his keyboards and I just going, he still got it.
Yeah. Well, one last Prince trivia before we go.
Yeah, we do have to take a break eventually.
Yeah. Prince did make his foray into New Jack Swing. He was successful with one song. What was it? And he did not record it.
Lala, answer? No, I don't got it.
Got me on that one.
Round and Round by Tevin Campbell.
Oh, and I love that song.
Tevin Campbell. Wow.
Because the version that everybody knows really is the New Jack Swing version, remix version. It's not very much remix, but it's remixed enough. Yeah, that was the one.
And New Jack Swing. Jeez. New Jack Swing. And again, has never been duplicated.
Nope, has never been duplicated. And the other thing about New Jack Swing that was so great, it really was that first foray into blending R&B and hip hop in a very seamless way before artists started just having the features in there. So it really was a special period.
Yeah, Teddy.
We also need to acknowledge that we lost Pepe as well this past week.
Yes, Pepe Willie.
100%. 100%. Okay, I think we've done enough music recollection for the show. So what we're going to do, family, we're going to take a break and take a guess what we're going to talk about. I'm not going to even tell you what we're going to talk. Take a guess what we're going to talk about. We will be right back. Here we go. Whenever I'm around, it's the home of epic conversations.
So many of us are blind to the fact that they don't know what they don't know.
We sort of appreciate all the help that we're given, all the help that the government is giving us. But we as people, we have to unite together.
Confidence is something that's very impactful, because that is something that you carry with you.
Oh, that mic drop. All right. So we are back on Primetime Saturday with Isha, Lala, and Prince, and Teddy, Jam and Lewis, LA and Babyface, the family.
Oh, wait. One more. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep going, but Jill Jones was inducted in the Walk of Fame in Ohio.
Yes. That was so amazing to see. That was
Mhm.
now. Have you ladies spoke with her since that happened?
Yeah. Through text. I don't know about Aisha, but through text.
No, I actually plan on calling her tomorrow.
Okay. Well, do tell her I send my love and huge congratulations
I
on
know
that
it's a
announcement.
big thing because
That is
you know
huge.
these
Huge.
it's one of those things where I was actually kind of sad that she wasn't included that in that movie 20 Feet from Stardom about the background
Yeah.
singers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So speaking of Jill Jones and Aisha and Lala, girlfriends chat. It's old episodes on Patreon, new episodes on Substack. There are the
Okay.
links. Primetime Saturday show store. There's the link. Join our Discord group. Please email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And also you can click on the link on the screen. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on any of my platforms that I'm a part of. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And we don't leave it to last. It's always there. Indie Soup TV, platform for Dr. Tachi, getting close to 30,000 subscribers on her YouTube platform, about 25 independent content creators. You see edited versions of this show and many shows that I'm a part of on it. There is the YouTube link. There is the website. We are done. What are we going to talk about today?
Ooh, the
The
girls
war.
are fighting.
The
The
two
boys are
toddlers,
fighting.
the two toddlers who are throwing
The boys are
tantrums.
fighting. Well, okay. So I guess if anybody's been sitting under a rock, shots were fired from Elon Musk. Trump started shooting at first. So funny, he didn't shoot back at first. And Lawrence O'Donnell acknowledged that. He said Trump probably doesn't know how to do it, how to come back. But then they started going
Somebody
back
had
and
to tell him how. He didn't know
somebody
how. Shit.
but they went back and forth. And the thing for me that, I'm a communications person. So everything is an opportunity. The Democrats
Okay, I was
basically
going to
have
ask about
blown
that.
it. They've blown it. They're sitting here like Ayanna Pressley, for example, said, don't let these men in their pissing match distract from the fact Republicans are still trying to rip away healthcare and food from actual children. To which Aisha said, to see two rich men fight while Americans are struggling is the message. Representative Pressley, use it. Don't hide from it. And that is the thing, because the thing is, they're fighting over tax cuts to wealthy people while taking away stuff from regular Americans. They're fighting over tax cuts that are going to cost everyone individually $6,915. That's what you will pay.
So whoa. Say it again, Aisha. Say the number.
$6,915.
Let it sink in.
Put it this way.
That's no joke.
Put it this way, you guys aren't getting refunds the way that you've been getting them, because they've got to do something with that. Those are the tax dollars from people that they're trying to take. But not only that, they're also trying to take people's Social Security. And that is the biggest thing. So you can't, two things can be true at once. They can be having a MAGA meltdown, but guess what? We can always say, look, they're over here having these meltdowns and going back and forth, talking about this bill that is only welfare for the wealthy. Period. They're arguing about money. Two rich guys arguing about money, billions of dollars that they want to take from you. Period.
Lala?
I think it's disgusting. And not only do I think it's disgusting, I find it very interesting that people are making jokes about this. Yes, I don't find it funny at all. And I try to find humor in it. And I did find a couple of memes I could giggle at. But if it wasn't so serious, if we weren't talking about people's rights and people's we done paid into the Social Security system, if these type of shots weren't fired at the level that they were fired, this is really dangerous, because the world is watching. people are going to be very opportunistic about this and attacking America. The kooks are always going to be the kooks. I don't never pay attention to them because they're going down that cross. Whatever they're going to do, they go down that cross. But when Musk came out and he beyond made it personal by stating what we already know. I mean, they were both stating things that we already know. We've already been telling you, and we're all going, and
right.
And what, tell us something we don't know, right? But I think Musk is at the point that he will. Anytime you invoke Epstein files, you ain't playing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, he better be watching his back, son or no son, as human shield.
Trump already said it today. He already said it today about investigating him, and Steve Bannon is out there investigating him, deport him, all this other stuff. But here's the thing: make no mistake, Democrats, you do not agree with Elon Musk. The bill is bad, yes. But again, two things can be true. The bill is bad, but not for the reasons that he thinks. He's upset about his money and his investments and his contracts with the government. Billions of dollars that Trump talking about, well, if we got rid of his contracts, we could afford the bill. But guess what? But here's the thing. You're still not talking about cutting his contracts to fund the tax cuts.
Exactly.
About
that's personal vendetta. That's just okay. Let me show you who really is powerful. That's all that is. That has nothing to do with you. All right. And all these people talking about, oh, finally, ain't no finally, because it ain't about you, and it never was about you. You always are going to be a half freaking not. So keep that clear. And don't let this put this smoke screen up about this. You better be clear about why they're fighting and what that means for you. It absolutely means nothing for you. That's only between them two.
And here's the thing: if it really was, off camera I had mentioned Black Karen. If it really was a Black Karen moment, if I was doing this as my Black Karen self when I get that way, first of all, I'm not going to just fire shots and threaten. Okay. I'm actually going to do. And so Elon threatening, oh yeah, I'll just take my thing and go, right? I'll just take my spacecraft and go, which means, remember, there are still 4 people up in space that are stranded till the middle of this month. Don't forget that. So they would be stuck up there, and we would have to rely on Russia to bring them back. Russia, which Trump would be more than happy to do. Remember that. But that means Russia they'd be in all of our stuff. But here's the other part too. Elon Musk, we're all his hostages. Because remember, he has all of our information. All he has to do is say, well, you know what? I'm going to release everybody's information. Period.
He already has.
Which he already has. But I don't mean, but here, when I say everybody, don't forget, he also has Trump's information, his tax information.
Because he helped, not only that, he also helped his ass get in the White House. And he said it. He came straight out and said it. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in the White House.
Exactly.
What did we tell y'all?
That's the thing I was going to go to next. Was here's the other reason why this is so important, because Musk let something slip out, and Trump responded in the way that you expect somebody who knows things were rigged. When Musk said he wouldn't have won the White House, Dems would have won the House, he gave specific numbers about the Senate race. How do you know those numbers? How? And then the first thing that Trump said was, well, I would have won Pennsylvania. I did win Pennsylvania without him, but I would have won without him anyway. Notice he pointed at a swing state. And that was the first swing state that they called for him before the polls closed. Remember.
And Aisha and I were like, what? We were like,
I did the math. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Why did they call Pennsylvania for him when the polls haven't even closed yet? So yeah. And I suspect that some of those results that were being tallied were being produced and given by Trump. Because guess who? Elon Musk. Because guess who has the satellites? Guess who controls all of the satellites and the data?
Dr. Vibe, are we telling the story? You were there that night. Both Aisha and I were in a complete funk stupor because we were like, What?
This doesn't make sense. Doesn't make
This
sense.
doesn't make sense. They're calling too early. This isn't right. And the first week we was like, we can't even come on the show right now. We were so upset because we knew that night that wasn't right.
No. And here's the thing. People might say, well, you're just mad at him. No, because if anyone who was watching that night recalls, I said, how can they call Kamala Harris for my state when only 4% of the vote is in? I'm like, I know she's going to win Connecticut. That's typically how it goes here. But at 4%, they shouldn't be calling it.
So how much of the media is at fault for all this madness?
Oh,
well, you know what? Here's the thing.
I was trying to keep my mouth in a nice place.
Well, here's the thing about the media, right? Trump has his panties in a bunch because only 170,000 people have looked at his posts on Truth Social about Elon. 178 million looked at Elon's. So what does Trump do? He starts calling the media. He called Kristen Welker.
They're all in his pocket. But I have to correct you real quick, though, Aisha, because he doesn't wear panties. He wears diapers.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. His pull-up.
You didn't go there.
The thing is
didn't go there. You did not go
the media, and he's trying to control the narrative. And here's the other thing. It's not just that, but it's also how he's manipulating other things around, because this story was so explosive and consumed the media for the last two and a half days. This man pretty much was like, oh, we're going to have to unseal the Abrego Garcia thing today, because they did that on the 21st. It was dated. So it took you, okay, there was that. And then there was something else stupid that they were trying to direct people to. So you could tell that this really bothers him. But the point of it is that the people are being hurt, because even if Elon's not there, the Doji boys are still there, right? The Doji boys are still there. Not only that, the DHS, terrorism task force, they gave that job to a 22-year-old who
calls himself Big Balls.
Right, who just graduated. No, not that guy. It's a new one. This one just graduated.
I forgot about
last year. Yep, this one just
graduated
from college last year, and his last two jobs were cashier at a grocery store and gardener. And he's now making a 6-figure salary, supposed to prevent terrorism. The guy that resigned from that position because he was going to lose it anyway, he had almost 30 years in terrorism work in the military and working for different terrorism task forces and in the FBI. This man, so we went from being very secure to being this kid's job is to close that office. And they have shifted this focus. This is something that should really scare us all, because they're fighting about this, but the damage is done. And we should all be terrified, particularly about that terrorism part. Why? Because next year is the 25th anniversary of 9/11. And Donald Trump has made us more unsafe. The region is very unstable. He's not doing anything to help. He's actually hurting in there. But they have shifted the majority of the FBI and all of our federal law enforcement's job to focusing on immigration. 45% of the FBI's budget is being directed to immigration. And not only that, but DOJ just sent about 10,000 more people who are not working on other cases to focus on immigration. And so, yeah, he's talking about the border. He's so concerned about the borders. He's not worried about these threats that are already there. And I promise you, these numbers mean things to people. They didn't attack on the 20th because think about it, the 25th, you're talking about kids who lost their parents are 25 years old. They're going to be 25 years old next year. The ones who were born after their parents passed. Yeah. So we're talking about they're upending everything. They both, the two of them together were toxic. They're toxic together. They're going to be far more toxic apart, because now Elon is going to weaponize his money and his relevance, and Trump is going to weaponize the government. And the people getting caught in the middle are the rest of us. It's like people have referred to it as a divorce, and the joke is, well, in the divorce, who gets custody of J.D. Vance? No, in a divorce, the kids are the American people sitting in the middle while the parents battle it out and cause irreparable damage.
Where does this go next?
I don't think that they woke up.
Listen, it's a roller coaster. We don't know what's coming next. This is our first time on this roller coaster with this bunch. Although we've been on the roller coaster with Trump before, it wasn't like this because it was a different circumstance. This time he's planning to play to win and stay. All right. So he learned what he was going to do on the first trip, but we're on this brand new roller coaster, and we do not know what's happening from minute to minute. And we never know what ball is going to hit us upside the head. That's where I am. We don't know.
I mean, today the thing was that, well, if Elon decides he's going to start funding Democrats, we are going to investigate him for
Yes.
It's like, what? You're already investigating the Democrats' fundraising arm, which is ridiculous. And so if we want to see this, all the things that we're talking about, what does Trump do when he gets frustrated in these things? He starts throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. So then it was like, oh, I'm gonna investigate Joe Biden for using the auto pen thing that he himself has used, and then also admitted that he there was an executive order or something that he didn't know about, but it was signed by using that auto pen. Well, I didn't sign it, dude. What are you talking about? Here's the thing is that this is the chaos within this country in the last 6 months, just on a platform for people to really see. They're airing each other's dirty laundry and going back and forth, but then they're throwing everything else into the mix of it. Exactly. And like Walamala said, then he's out here talking about, oh yeah, the real Joe Biden died and has been and the thing I said was like, oh yeah, like the real Prince died in 1984 after Purple Rain, and then it was a whole, it was a
y'all talking about, you sitting up here talking about Biden is crazy and dementia. What?
Right.
This man has off the rails from day one.
Right. And it just shows you that, look, there's chaos in the House over this bill, there's chaos in the Senate over this bill, and then there's chaos in the White House over this bill, and it's basically just Trump and Elon Musk fighting. So what does it tell you? This bill is chaotic. Why? Because it is going to upend the lives of a lot of people, and they are playing with people's lives.
Hey, so before we get to that, of course, we got some comments. Regina is on fire as per usual. So let me catch up. And the Walamala, you have some comment too. But Regina says, Elon has 220 million followers. I detest both Musk and 47, but Elon has longevity on his side. 47 doesn't. This battle is interesting. We know what 47 will do, but Elon is an agent of chaos.
He also is. Said, though, one thing though, Regina, I might not agree with you on the length of time that Elon has. All those drugs and stuff that he does between the two of them, I'm like, it makes me wonder. People suspect that Trump was doing Adderall. People suspect that Elon does all the drugs that he does, and they were on the campaign trail together. And the thing was that Elon was doing heavy drugs on the campaign trail. Well, if he was always in Trump's face, what makes you think that Trump wasn't partaking?
So Regina also says 47 was threatening Elon today about funding the Democrats. She also says immigration ICE is going downhill in polling. The border is one thing, your neighborhood waitresses and mom is another.
Yep.
She also says a lot of people I know think the tech bros will get rid of 47 so JD takes over, because no way JD is going to win an election.
But that's what we said, though, right? That the real plan, and that's the real plan, because remember, JD is a Project 2025 loyalist and will admit to it.
Yeah. Walamala says 47 claim he is a robot. Regina says, right, Matthew Perry died of a ketamine cocktail.
I mean, if you look, that day, that last day that Elon Musk was at the White House, it was apparent that he was high.
Oh my God. It's apparent he's high all the time, even at the inauguration.
All the time. And you know, it's funny to me because those kinds of drugs and evil go hand in hand almost all the time. You know who else was on drugs like that? Hitler.
Yes.
And if you remember correctly, before, this is the history about D-Day that people forget, is that Hitler's people were planning to assassinate him at the same time that D-Day was going on.
Okay. I want to just do a little quick reflection because on this. The summary of the love affair, July 2022, Musk suggests 47 should forego White House bid. November 2022, Musk reinstates 47's Twitter account. August 23, Musk defends 47 as prosecutions pile up. March 2024, 47, desperate for cash, meets Musk in Palm Beach. May 2024, Musk establishes a pro-47 super PAC. July 2024, Musk endorse 47. August 2024, 47 and Musk hold campaign event on X. October 2024, Musk joins 47 at Pennsylvania rally after spending millions. November 2024, 47 wins election after Musk spends $250 million on the race.
Actually, the final count today was 290.
January 2025, Musk speaks at 47's inauguration rally. March 2025, 47 publicly limits Musk's authority amid clashes with cabinet. May 2025, Musk exits the White House amid simmering tensions. June 2025, tensions boil over and spill into public. So,
the 2022 year is very interesting because if you think about it, what were we hoping for 2022? What happened in 2022? We had a midterm, and Democrats felt like they were on par to win that midterm because of the rescinding of Roe, right? Democrats thought they were going to win that midterm. Who else would have been afraid of Democrats winning that midterm and having control of Congress, which is the arm that determines how the government's money is spent? Elon Musk. Because if Democrats had gotten control of that, they would have cut back on a lot of those contracts that he was getting. And he had a lot of contracts that were set to end.
I know it's premature to ask, but what do you have to say about Elon Musk at this time?
I haven't changed my idea about that asshole from the very beginning. His whole family are toxic. And not only are they toxic, they're freaking dangerous. They want to control the world, and he thinks that he can. They're all assholes.
Well, I know 59 people that might be deported back to South Africa.
They already started to work on that because they all lied.
The Republicans
they're telling that they knew we're farmers, and they get over here. No, we don't know nothing about farming, but I can park people's cars. Okay. All right.
So on the who wins this in the long run? 47 or Elon? Or could they make up?
No, they ain't gonna make
Who
up.
wins? Who wins
When
in the
Musk
long
crossed
run?
the line and called out the Epstein files, that
Nah.
was over.
That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah. There's no way there. But here's who wins, and this is part of what I think the rebranding needs to happen with the Democrats. I've given a lot of thought to how Democrats need to revamp their communication strategy, and I think that they need at this point they need to brand MAGA in two groups. There's the MAGA billionaires and the MAGA elite, who are the influencers, who are all those people who do the podcast bros, and all those people who aren't billionaires, but they've made money on the MAGA grift, like Laura Loomer, those people. Because when you talk about them in that context, regular people can see that they aren't, even though they might be MAGA, they don't fall into either one of those, because those are the only two groups who stand to benefit by these tax cuts and this bill. They're the
Okay.
only two people who stand to benefit.
Well,
That's when.
Here's a suggestion for the Democrats. Don't spend time on 47. Provide alternatives.
Well, I've also given that thought.
Your lips and God's ear.
Yeah.
They're not doing what they need to do. I'm sick to death of them. But however, we still got people like John Walsh, who was a big Republican. Now he's like, I'm done with y'all Democrats. I'm kind of coming over to the side, and I'm gonna need you to start getting your shit together because y'all are dropping the ball.
David Jolly, former Republican congressman, is now a Democrat running for the governorship in Florida.
Yeah, I just suggested the Democrats let the Republicans burn themselves out, but provide the American people. What would you do different from them? Stop this is my suggestion. Stop attacking what's going on with the Republicans, 47 EMS. What alternatives can you provide? Yes.
But here's the thing with that, Dr. Vibe, is that because everyone is so laser focused on that, the thing is that they're not talking about that. They're like, oh, we're above that. Well, guess what? That's where everybody is. So you start by just simplifying it. Like I said, it's two rich guys over here fighting because of egos. But at the same time, they're doing that. They're also doing this. And I think there's this, we've got to get over, we can just focus on one thing. Two things can be true and can happen at the same time. And I know this, the next Democrat to run for president has to have a spine of steel and has to be able to and ready to say and accept it and say, look, the one thing I definitely want to do is let
hold on. What was that look from Lala?
Because I have a person in mind and I want her so bad I can freaking taste it. But I don't know if the public is like the general public. Now we know we're ready for her, but I don't know if the world is ready for her. Now, my God, if I could have Jasmine Crockett.
Who?
Jasmine Crockett.
No, she won't win.
Let me have my little second of joy.
Everybody's just been taking everything from Lala today.
I'm like, hey, what did I do to everybody today?
But you know what, though? But here's the thing. I think the person has to commit to saying, this administration, the cabinet, they have violated the Constitution. And we are going to look at the things that they have done. Congress, if Democrats win Congress, you are tasked with holding hearings and investigating and gathering all the evidence. And I am going to appoint a DOJ person who is going to take that and do the thing. Because honestly, I don't see Democrats getting that invigorated over anybody in 2028 unless it's someone who's going to deal with the mess that's happening now, because a lot of illegal stuff is happening. Like, for example, we need to know who these ICE agents are. If you are an actual ICE agent or FBI agent, why do you have a mask on? And then why is the party who had issues with people having masks on to prevent illness and death okay with people wearing masks to disappear people? I mean, for example, Trump made Columbia sign their thing saying that they would not require a mask mandate on campus to prevent COVID and disease, but they allow their masked ICE agents up on campus all the time to snatch students. These ICE people tried to go into public schools in California and take kids. Thankfully, great principals, great teachers are like, no, you're not coming in here. But we have, whoever it is has to say, we're going to investigate this. We need to investigate this. We need to investigate this. We need to investigate this, because trust in our government has been eroded. And the only way to bring that back is to say, nah, we're going to investigate this and prosecute people who broke the law. We're not going to slow walk it. We are going to do the investigations, and we're going to do this. Congress is tasked with getting the evidence, bringing it to us, and we do the case. Period. Right. It's going to have to be somebody who's like that. And that's why I say they've got to have a spine of steel.
Regina says, and the tech bros hate the nutty tariffs. She also says, by the way, the big beautiful bill has 96 pages of policy included. So it isn't just a budget reconciliation bill, meaning it needs 60 votes to pass. LOL. If Elon starts a party for the Rogan bros and the tech bros, he could split the GOP in two. And she also says, personally, I think the Dems should borrow the AOC Bernie platform. It is simple and for the people. Basic stuff, stop pandering to big donors. I thought one of the most interesting things I heard this week is one of Aish, I don't know if it's one of your favorite lady politicians saying she didn't read.
Yeah. Here's the thing that Democrats can do now. All those Republicans are admitting to not reading the bill.
Yep.
Democrats, you have a YouTube channel, you have TikTok, you have all kinds of social media. Y'all need to read that bill to the people. It's 1,000 pages, but you know what? You divide yourselves up into your tasks, into your committees anyway, and say, okay, we're going to focus on the parts of the bill that focus on immigration. We're going to focus on the parts of the bill that focus on healthcare, that focus on Social Security. We're going to focus on the parts of the bill that focus on these policies with regard to presidential power. We're going to focus on this. And that is how they need to do it. Because guess what? People have an idea, but they don't really know all the things that are in it. And even more so, because guess who else is going to be paying attention to those little podcasts? The Republicans. Because guess who doesn't know what's in the bill? The Republicans. They voted for it, but they don't know what's in it. And then
it's bad. It's bad when their constituents show up to town halls. And it gives me actual joy to see in the fact, not for the people, it gives me joy in the fact that the people did take their time to read the bill. So when they come to the town halls and they're quoting sections and going, did you know about section blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he goes, no, I didn't read it. Boy, that speaks volumes, bro. You're not getting that vote next time. I want you to know that.
And then the Democrats need to make up a list of all the politicians who admit to not reading the bill.
Yep. They should have ads on that.
And they need to attack. This is the thing right now. And you're right, Dr. Vibe. And that's my thing as a communications person. Every opportunity, every time somebody says something, make an ad, flood the zone with it. You know what? Their whole thing, like they're following what Steve Bannon said, flood the zone with chaos. You flood the zone with information. Every time somebody does that, you don't even have to have a message. Just replay the video and say, we told you. And then they just need to adopt a phrase that is easy and stick to it. That's why I say, call this bill welfare for the wealthy, because every Democrat has something different to say. Do you know what media has seized on? They have been calling this bill the big beautiful bill. Why? Because Trump picked that and he stuck to it, and he told every Republican, when you talk about this bill, it's the BBB, the big beautiful bill. Keep going. You've got this Democrat over here calling it the ugly bill, this one over here calling it a disappointment. No, you all call it welfare for the wealthy. Welfare for the wealthy, period. And the reason I say that is because one thing that wealthy people hate and white people hate, being told that they're on welfare. You stain them with it. The same way that they have stained working class people, they've stained the elderly, they've stained Black people, Latino people with the word welfare. Turn it back on them. And Democrats start taking back our language. Take back stay woke and use it and say, yeah, you know what? We're woke, because guess what? When you're woke, it means you're awake. It means you're aware. It means you know what's going on. Take back DEI.
Baby, I ain't never abandoned woke. I advertise it. And it's so funny. I wore my woke shirt this week, and I think I had like 5 people going, amen, sister, amen.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we're still out here. We still are claiming what we know, what is right about woke.
Right.
People are not stupid. Only the Kool-Aid wants to try to make it, turn it into something that's not so go, like Aisha said, go turn that on them. It's wealthy welfare.
Yep. And then here's the other thing too. Take back DEI, because we need to start asking the question, so why is diversity bad? And you start asking those people, why is diversity bad? Why is equality bad? Because equity is equality. Why is equality bad? Shouldn't everybody have equal opportunity to access things? And inclusion. Make sure inclusion is bad. And here's the argument you make on inclusion. You know, inclusion is not just about people of color. It's not just about the LGBTQ people. But guess what? Guess who else doesn't feel included? All those white boys that go and shoot up schools.
So circling back, why this battle between 47 is so important and the destruction left in the wake of this, it's going to be interesting. During the last election, there were a lot of young men of different cultures who look up either to one of these guys or both of these guys.
But the media is so jacked up with it, though. Here's the problem, and here's the argument. And I'm a person that does statistics in the math and all of that. And I'm gonna tell you this: people are like, oh yeah, Trump made inroads with black men. 1%, 70% of white men voted for him. 70. Yeah. That is the thing. Not the 1% increase in white men. 43% of Latino men. 70% of white men. Period. Like someone said, oh, they were trying to make me think I was wrong. I'm like, no, you don't know math. They said, well, Biden deported 15,000 people in the same, in this time frame compared to Trump. His last time deported 6,000. But the information that's more important, 72% of the people that Biden deported were actually convicted of crimes, compared to only 30% of the people that Trump. And guess what? The raw number might be different, and it might look like more, but remember, it's proportion. It's about the proportion. The moment you enter a percentage in there, it's about the proportion. So 72% compared to 30% in terms of who's deporting criminals and who's not. And Trump's whole justification is that it's the crime. Guess what? You know when crime rates are their highest? Under Trump.
Oh, Jen Myers says, hello, everyone. I'm late. You're always on time with us, Jen Myers. And then Regina says, take back the real meaning of woke. Amen.
You know what? Here's the thing. Forget this Elon and Trump breakup. What we need to talk about is America's breakup, particularly the Democrats' breakup with being chumps. Break up with that. Break up with the weakness. Break up with giving away your stuff. And then what happens in a breakup? You take your shit back. You take your stuff back. Reclaim it. Because all they did, it's not like they took our things and then used it for something. They took our things, they changed the meaning of it that has nothing to do with the actual meaning, and rebranded it and fed it to their people. So you ask someone, well, what does woke mean? You ask those people, they can never tell you. You know why? Because they know the wrong definition. They know that woke means anything they don't like, anyone they don't like. And that is not what that word means. I mean, well, we all learned the meaning of woke as the past form of awake when we were in elementary school.
Hmm. Lala, anything you want to add?
I'm tired. I'm tired. Because it's a never-ending battle, and it's so emotionally draining. And to be very honest, when because Aisha's the one who alerted me that they were arguing, because I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not even looking at the news. I'm just not. I'm really working on myself, on how I can improve myself and how I can do that in order to help my communities. And I'm really, I need to let y'all know that Florida really pulled a fast one over Will and I on this special elections. We're not going to be able to get to vote because they have instituted how you need to drop off your ballots. You have to do all these new things now where we can't get our ballot in fast in time enough because, we travel a lot. Yep. And so we're traveling, and I this week they hit us. So when I say I'm tired, I am tired because I'm constantly mentally trying to think, what do I have to remember? Where do I have to go? What do I need to do? How am I being a good citizen? Oh my God, so at that last point, when we heard about this argument that's still going on, and believe me, this is not going to be the last of it. I didn't have the mental capacity to even wrap my head around it because I'm exhausted.
So for people who are watching live on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, I love the engagement of the audience. So I got a poll. Who will win the 47 Elon war? One.
That fourth option.
Which that?
The billionaires and the elites.
Okay.
I think that's wins.
Okay. So 47, 1. Elon, 2, not sure, 3. So Regina, you gotta put you're not, yes, you got to press a number then enter. So either 1, there we go, so far they say Elon. The family says it's going to be Elon. We'll keep a track of that, and that's anyone who's watching live on the YouTube channel.
Well,
Any last
anytime it seems that it's going to look like Elon's winning, Trump's just going to deport
him. Regina says, the breakup song, Why Don't You Call Me Anymore by Prince.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? That's what somebody asked Trump today. Are you going to call Elon? No.
No.
I want to call him. Of course, they're like Lala said, this is done. The moment that he brought the Epstein thing,
done. But interesting. What's the gentleman? He's done biographies on 47. Oh, Michael Cohen? No, he's done biographies on. I saw him interviewed on the Daily Beast this week. He went in on the whole Epstein, and he says he has physically seen pictures on 47 and Epstein and young women.
Well, yeah, Elon put those out too.
But that's no lie, because these young ladies who came forward and told these stories, and people are burying this. They're not getting the attention. They're being labeled as crazy. But let me tell you something. These ladies are so deep with details. They can't make this shit up. They're telling the truth.
Yeah. And, here's the other thing too, is that it's like, the odd thing about him bringing up the Epstein thing, and I don't think that he thought about it that way. I think Elon doesn't think that way. But Trump also doesn't help himself that way, because what is the thing that he talks about doing this week when someone asks him? It's about, is he going to pardon Diddy? We know what Diddy's on. We know what Diddy's on trial for.
Oh Lord.
I'm just waiting. I'm like,
No,
now at this
Dr.
point,
Vibe,
I'm
that was
waiting for R. Kelly
something
to ask for
I
a
thought
pardon.
of because they are close like that.
Yep. And I thought about this. I'm like, you know what? At this
Really?
point, is R. Kelly going to ask for a pardon?
Really? Oh
Yeah, he
wow.
said-
No,
he
it's
said-
not
he said,
a
I
joke.
couldn't do it,
Like
no.
he was constantly around him in New York City.
Yep. And then Trump said that the very same day that Elon went off, right before Elon went off.
Okay, let's get to that one. I need. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's go to our other conversation topic today, because that just sort of went wow. Okay, Republican Mike Collins says Republicans' next goal is to kick seniors off Social Security. Quote, get off Social Security and get back into the workforce. Before we go any further, I'm going to see if I can play the audio tape of him saying that. So just bear with me really quick on this. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can play this audio. Tell me if you hear it.
You've got spending and you've got revenue, and you set it up to where you can increase your revenue, and you do that by lowering taxes and making it more advantageous for people to work and to get off of Medicaid, get off of Social Security, get back into the workforce, and that decreases it on that side of the equation as well, on the mandatory side. You got.
They want people to work until they die, basically, and all to justify taking their Social Security money. And this goes back to what I was saying about how the Dems need to really figure out how they talk about things. Social Security, basically, when you look at it and you think about it, it really is like a savings account that you're putting you're putting money into from your paychecks based upon what your income, and you put it into it so that it'll be there when you retire. Okay, that is basically what it is. And what they're talking about is having you still put money in this social savings account that you can't withdraw. Instead, they're going to take it. Now, think about this in practical terms. If you went and opened up a bank account at any bank, say you opened up a bank account at Bank of America, and if Bank of America said, okay, you're like, I'm going to deposit $100 a week in this account. Cool. And Bank of America said, oh, but you can't get the money back once you put it in. We take it and we offset costs for our wealthier clients. That's what they're doing. That is what they're saying with the Social Security money.
Aisha, wasn't this in Project 2025? Like
yes,
we
it was.
said?
Yes, it was. And let me be clear about things like SNAP and Medicaid and things like that. What they also don't say is, guess what, people? You pay into that too. You pay into that too, because it's like insurance. In case you are in that situation and you need it, you pay into it. What do you think your FICA taxes are? All those things, when people are like, who the hell is FICA? That's FICA.
It's no, and it's not just him. I mean, they're no longer keeping quiet. This ain't no secret. You've got Joni Ernest, who came out talking about we're all gonna die. And then she comes out and she mocks her own self by making a joke and saying, oh, come on, people.
We're gonna die. Girl.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just too heavy. It's just too heavy, but it's all in Project 2025. Go on and get your handbook out, because we told you.
Yeah. and this all the people who would have voted Democrat and said that they just couldn't, because Genocide Joe and Genocide Kamala. Have y'all been paying attention to what's going on in Gaza now? Trump's president now. It has gotten far worse, to the point that they have people rioting and looting because they are not getting food. People are starving to death. Babies are starving to death. The violence has escalated even more than it was before. I was reading about a little girl who had to get a double amputation without medication, without pain medication. So you know what? Miss me with that.
All right. Let's end it off with that. A few quick things. If you are watching this live on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, The Dr. Vibe Show, love to do a quick poll. Would love you to rate today's show between 1 and 5. 1, 5, it was out of bounds. So from 1 to 5, if you can do that in real time, we would appreciate that. So one other quick thing I'm going to add in regards to the bill, the whatever they want to call it. One of the provisions that a lot of Republicans haven't read is the whole thing on AI. So
Right.
government staying. Now, isn't it interesting? The same party that wants to rule over women's bodies
Mm-hmm.
and other things, they don't want to touch AI.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Standing the inauguration.
Mm-hmm.
They all were up there in line.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then don't forget, look at who is donating to these Republicans that are voting. Look at who their donors are.
Follow the money. All right. We're leaving it at that. As always, want to say thank you for the ladies for giving the most precious thing they have to offer, their time today. And we want to say, how can you get a hold of them? So there's a key in the house. And by the way, Lala, your honey bunny, as you call him, actually favorited the show.
I know.
There you go. All right. Where can we get a hold of you?
You can find all of my stuff. I've swung everything over to my website, whether you're looking for real estate or you're looking to move abroad. Maybe you need to get your budget in order. I have all sorts of free resources there for you. And you could do that at www.laurakey.net. But I do want to leave you with one thing, and I posted this on my page. So Musk goes, kill the bill. And Trump goes, Musk has TDS. So Musk goes, I'm the reason Trump won. So Trump goes, we waste billions on Musk. So Musk goes, Epstein. And the flunky goes, deport. And Elon, Musk goes, impeach. And that is why, boys and girls, women are too emotional to be president.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm going to put it over to Aisha K. Staggers.
Wow. You can find me on Instagram at AKStaggers, Medium at AishaKStaggers.medium.com, Blue Sky, AKStaggers.bskysocial, and Friendo Media at FriendoMedia.com, where I was this week named editor at large, and Substack at Aisha K. Staggers.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Good stuff. All right. Let's let it go here and let's do this. Where can you get a hold of me if you want to get a hold of me? I always say ladies first. I actually saw that video this week. Ladies First by Queen Latifah. Classic and her Money Love. Website, the drvibeshow.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. X/Twitter at drvibeshow. And email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. You can also catch me on Substack, drvibe.substack.com/subscribe, and on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. And you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show website. And before we exit out, let's see what we got here. Aisha says, I actually wrote an article this week on taking back DEI. And Regina says, excellent show. Congrats, Aisha. Well, all of you made an excellent show. So that's the most important thing. So as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith and walk good.
To understand how afraid I am of any member of the rodent family that's down to squirrels and chipmunks. Okay, I hate that. I cannot stand all members of the rodent family. Rabbits, bunnies, no. What else is going on that day? I mean, is there something we're supposed to be doing?
Why are you going there? Why are you going there? You know I'm going to ask you. It falls the same day as the inauguration of the new president.
The what? Excuse me? I'm sorry.
You mean so in other words, Monday.
So onesies. Now, folks, don't ever think you're going to see us all on a show with onesies on. Don't do
You
that.
might see me. You might see me.
You'll see me and Lala because we oftentimes wear ours.